Hello and welcome to Tech Deals June 2018 unboxing. I have a whole series of these unboxing videos linked to the full playlist in the description below. You go check them out if you want something to put on in the background or just have hours and hours of fun. Now, I do one of these usually every month. I did one in May. I will do one in June. I film all throughout the month of May and then publish on YouTube at the beginning of June. Unless you're a Floatplane member, in which case you can get about a week's early access, give or take. Link down below if you'd like to support me on Floatplane. For those of you who don't know, Floatplane, short for Floatplane Media, is a new media website launched by Linus Media Group. It's separate from them, but they've got various content creators on there. At the moment, in May when I'm filming this, it is $3 per month to subscribe, and you get several benefits for doing so. Number one, no ads ever. Number two, higher quality video than on YouTube. The bitrate is higher, the compression design is better, so the overall video looks much nicer. 1080p to 1080p, it is much better. You can download the videos. Do you want to watch them offline? By all means, click the download button, download it for viewing on your offline device, knock yourself out. Now, you also have the benefit of a private community. Because it's not open to everybody, it is subscription only, the comment section is free of, shall we say, some of the more colorful comments that you will find on YouTube. The idea is Floatplane is meant to be sort of a closer, tighter-knit community, a connection to content creators. As I mentioned, there are several other creators on there as well. Kyle, for example, over at Bitwit is a content creator on there. So if you're interested in supporting some other content creators, you can certainly do so. Now, all of the videos that are normally seen on YouTube will continue to be seen on YouTube. These unboxings will be, the reviews will be, don't worry. It is completely optional. It is not a replacement for YouTube. It is simply an option to get early access to videos, ad-free viewing, higher quality videos, and the ability to participate in a comment section that only has paying members in it, so it doesn't have people leaving toxic comments. Other than that, you can still expect regular uploads here on YouTube, as you always have. And with that being said, I hope you have your coffee or your beer or your snacks or whatever it is, because we're going to launch into this. Now, you see a bunch of stuff behind me. That's what I'm opening on the first taping of this. Actually, May 10th is when I'm actually unboxing this stuff, but I do this several times throughout the month and stitch them together. So I don't actually know right now how many items will be in this video, but hopefully a bunch. Now, this is exciting. By the time you watch this video, you will have already seen the review on these. Because of the fact that I unbox these in chunks, some of the stuff you will have already seen, but you may recognize these. These are the brand new Samsung 970 EVO and 970 Pro drives, replacing the 960 EVO and 960 Pro drives. Now, I reviewed those last year, and at the time, I basically said they were the fastest NVMe general consumer drives on the market. There are drives faster, but not for general consumers. These are an iteration. Now, from what I've seen so far, I obviously haven't tested them. These are a little bit faster and a little bit better, but it's not speed that should make you want the 970s over the 960s. If the price is the same, by all means, buy the 970s. If they're only 20-ish, maybe 30-ish dollars more, buy the 970s. The warranties are longer, at least on the EVO drive. The drive write endurance, the total terabytes written, is longer. So the drives have been improved. They're not hugely faster from all the benchmarks that I've seen, but they are better drives, and if the price is close, go ahead and get these. That being said, if you find a 960 EVO or a 960 Pro on sale or discount, by all means still get one. They're great drives, and they're fine for the vast majority of people looking for a drive in this caliber. Now, all of the items that I'm unboxing will be linked down in the description below to both Amazon and Newegg as appropriate. Not everything I unbox, because some of it may not be, especially viewer-sent items, but these definitely go check them out. And of course, as I mentioned, by the time you watch this in June, these will have already been reviewed. Our next item comes from Newegg. Now, this is something that I bought to review. I am including some of the items that I buy to review in these unboxing videos, just because some of you might enjoy seeing what I'm opening throughout the month. A lot of items are sent to me by companies sending me samples, and some of the items are sent by you, the viewers. There's a couple back there that are viewer-sent items. My address is down below in the video description of every one of my videos. If you have something fun and interesting, new tech, Old tech, completely obsolete tech. If anybody has a Gateway 2000 386 DX25, which was my first IBM compatible PC I ever owned in April of 91, desktop, form factor, 3 slots, I would absolutely love one. Yes, it's completely obsolete, but unfortunately I didn't keep it and I kind of miss it. I have the computer before that, by the way, which was an Apple II GS. I even have the 24-pin letter quality Apple ImageWriter 2 printer in my garage. I don't even know if it works anymore. It hasn't been turned on in years, the printer. The computer does work. I actually had it on about a year ago, showing it to my kids. Yeah, they weren't as impressed by it as I remember being impressed by it. But I do have that back from many, many years ago, so yeah, there's that. And anyway, on with the unboxing. Have I ever mentioned that good things come in small packages? What's really frightening? I have no idea what's in here. You get enough packages, and you don't remember. Oh, I remember now. A Reactor drive. Now, some of you may be asking, huh? What? Why would you buy this? Don't you have like 20 SSDs on the shelf over there? Yeah, I do actually have a lot of SSDs. I have the Munchkin Reactor drives I've tested numerous times and did recommend them last year when I tested them. The Reactor drives are MLC drives. They're being phased out in place of these Triactors. These are TLC or tri-level cell drives, and I haven't tested one. I want to see how good they are. These can often be found very, very competitive. This is a 480 gigabyte drive. I picked this up after checking on the thing because I had forgotten. This was $99 on sale. Now, if it's more than that, it may or may not be worth it, but I do want to see how it compares to the Crucial MX 500, to the Samsung 860 EVO, the SATA SSD. Is this worth buying? We're going to find out in an upcoming review, which you also might see by the time this video comes out. Now we come to a viewer item. This comes from Poland. Artur has sent this, and it is a square box. Now, given the size of the box, and given how many other similar items I've been sent in the past, there's a distinct possibility this might be a coffee mug, because I've been sent a lot of coffee mugs. By the way, if you do want to send me a coffee mug, and for those of you who watch my Twitch live streams, I'm a huge coffee drinker. I drink a lot of coffee. I would prefer different mugs. I don't need any more Diva mugs. And if this is a Diva mug, I will be grateful, but I will also roll my eyes because I've got like 5 or 6 of them now. So the question is how to open the box. This box is actually very well taped. It's got the brown tape all the way around it. It's a challenge. You can have what's inside if you can open the box. We'll try this way. Oh, that works. Well, like see, the styrofoam inside would seem to indicate, yes, coffee mug. But I am grateful. I do love coffee. Well, that assumes it wants to come out. It's stuck. Yes. We'll try this. You know, I don't need the box. We're just going to tear the box right off. And it's styrofoam, and you will see it at the same time I will. Oh, nice. Okay, black. And it is a, am I missing something? It is a black mug. It is a completely black mug. Now, if I look confused, it's because sending a plain black mug from Poland to the United States would seem to be maybe not the most economical choice in the world. However, upon closer inspection, there is the faintest outline on the mug, and I don't know if I am crazy or if there is supposed to be something printed on here, or is it possible it's heat activated? I'm going to cut here and go fill this with hot water and see if something shows up when you put hot liquid in it. We have now put hot liquid into our mug, and it's not black anymore. In fact, this may be one of my new favorite mugs. I said don't send me any more Diva mugs. This is the exception. Okay, I really like this. It's completely black or pretty close to it when there's nothing in it, but you put hot liquid in it, as you can see here. In fact, I'll zoom in here at the moment. You can see it is Diva. There's a very nice scene printed. It actually looks really nice considering its color change. I'll just turn that around here so you can see the scene. That mug is very cool. Thank you so much. I will definitely be using this on a live stream. I will have some nice hot coffee in it. And as I drink the coffee, oh, Diva's gonna slowly go away. Gives me an incentive to refill my coffee. Next up, we have a box from Amazon, which usually has fun stuff in it. We have air foam, air pillow things. Oh, I know what this is. This is fun. This is a $699 laptop, the Asus Tough Thin and Light. It is $100 more than the previous budget gaming laptop that I used to recommend, which was the Acer Aspire E15. Now, this is a 4-core 8-thread laptop just like that, but this has a GTX 1050 in it, whereas the $599 laptop had the MX 150. This is dramatically faster in terms of gaming performance. This does not, however, have a pure SSD in it. It has one of the 1 terabyte solid-state hybrid hard drives, which I really haven't done a lot of coverage on, but I will now that I have one of these to show you. 15.6-inch Full HD 1080p screen, and the usual accompaniments. What it does, however, have is the new 8th generation higher-end processor. The $599 Acer Aspire E15 had a 15-watt low-power U chip in it. This has the new higher power 45-watt chip, so the performance should be much improved. Expect to see a full review on this, both gaming and non-gaming, very soon on the channel, if you haven't already by the time you watch this. Just as a random side note as you're watching these sorts of videos, that is an example of something that I had to buy myself. The previous budget gaming laptop, the $599 Acer Aspire E15, I also had to buy myself. I do get some free samples on my channel, but not everything, and stuff like that usually is something that I have to buy. If you support me either on Floatplane, Patreon, or directly through PayPal, or by using the various affiliate links in the description below, it helps me buy more of this stuff and keep providing you coverage. It really does make a difference. Thank you. And with that being said, let's take a look and see what is in this Amazon box. It's like Christmas every morning. Except this Santa sends me a credit card bill. Oh, see, now this is funny. I try to filter this out, and usually you can by the weight of the boxes. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm an Amazon Prime member, and Amazon Prime is an amazing value for the money. It's $10 a month, $120 a year, and I would pay it if it was twice the price. It really is a great deal. With the Amazon Prime Store card, we get 5% back on everything we buy, and you get subscribe and save discounts, Amazon Fresh. I'm not going to cover the whole thing now, but Prime, at least in the United States, is an amazing value. We get a ton of stuff. My coffee, I kid you not, our peanut butter, our paper towels and toilet paper, including stuff like this. And the prices are comparable to your local grocery store or even Walmart. And they're delivered right to your door and you don't have to mess with it. So this actually shouldn't have been up here. I got the rest of it, but I missed this one. Yes, I know, it's exciting. It's dishwasher tablet things, Cascade things for the dishwasher downstairs. We get everything. I mean, we live, breathe, eat, and sleep on Amazon. So when I tell you to buy everything from them, I'm telling you to do what I do. And now we have another viewer package in a square-shaped box that looks suspiciously like another coffee mug, although it's lighter than the other one, so maybe it's not. Who knows? This one came from Feng, from the United Kingdom. Although, given what's on the top of it, it's probably a mug. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are going to see what this one is. And it is... oh, wow. Cool. Taped. Which is a good thing, because the styrofoam is a little bit dinged up, but we can fix that. Just got to be careful cutting the tape. See if that was enough. I love it. You know, I said in last month's unboxing video, no more Diva mugs, please. Well, okay. But you know what? I do really, for some reason, love Diva. Well, this is cool. I like this. And I don't have this one. So I'm excited actually because I don't have this one. That is a great, I'll show this here to the camera. That is a great image. Absolutely. I love it. It's colorful. It's printed on both sides so I can see it and the camera when I stream on Twitch can see it. Thank you, man. I like the print. I like the look of it. I love that it's on both sides. You will definitely see this on a live stream. I do rotate the mugs. It's very good looking. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have to give Newegg credit. May contain awesome. They do have pretty cool boxes. I love the little messages they put on the side there. Pillows. And more pillows. That's a lot of pillows. What is... Oh, I forgot about this. It is an Asrock X470 Master SLI with AC Wi-Fi. I was just looking over the specifications on the back. It's been a couple of weeks since I ordered this, and frankly, this probably has been down at the front door for a week or two now. My goal is to cover each of the boards at the $150-ish price point from each of the companies in one video and do more of a comparison rather than a detailed look at each board. Because the truth of the matter is the vast majority of the features between the X470 boards are all identical. The differences are what LAN chip, what audio chip, do they have Wi-Fi or not? And this has dual band AC Wi-Fi, which is nice. And then just sort of look at them in terms of what RGB do they have? What's the layout? What M.2 ports do they have? You can certainly spend $200, $300 on an X470. I don't think most people should. I think $150 is the sweet spot. A Ryzen 7 2700X will work just fine on any of these boards, and it'll be covered at some point in the future. Actually, before we go to the next item, I just realized something as I was sitting here at the table. Do you guys see this motherboard right here from Asrock? That is an expensive $400+ motherboard. It is very nice. It's an X299 professional gaming, super every feature in the world. Now, thank you to Asrock for sending me that board to review. So they send me a $400+ board, but they won't send me the $150 board. It's not just them. Each of the companies is interesting in what they'll send me, and this is why I ask for y'all's support in the links down in the description below. I know many times you watch my videos and you go, really? Is he going to mention the links again? Here's the thing. I bought this board. This was not a sample from Asrock. These companies don't send me everything that I would like to review that I think you should see. They often send what they want reviewed. Now, that's an extremely nice board, and if you're building an i9 10, 12 plus core Skylake X system and you're going to put 3 NVMe SSDs in it, and you're going to, take it to the nines, sure, it's great. But the average person is never going to do that. The vast 99.9% of everybody building a computer is never going to do something like that. You're going to buy one of these for $150 and a Ryzen 5 2600X or a Ryzen 7 2700X. You might put an NVMe SSD on it. You might go SATA. You'll put 16 gigs of RAM on it and maybe a GTX 1060 or 1070, and off to the races you'll go. This is what the average person is going to buy, and yet this is what is actually quite hard to get companies to send me. They always want to send the flagship boards, but beggars can't be choosers. I am grateful for it, don't get me wrong, but yes, I did buy this, so you'll see it in the future. Next up, we have a really heavy box, which actually might be more of the same from before, so I might have missed one more box. You never know. And I was wrong. What is the... Oh, okay. Really, Amazon? You mixed these items? The interesting thing about Amazon is when you order different items in different orders, they sometimes ship them all together. Wait till you see what is in this box. Okay. First of all, don't laugh too hard, because opening all this stuff and all the things that end up across the desk, You do end up with little bits of foam and dirt everywhere. Never underestimate the utility of these things for cleaning yourself off. In fact, more than one video, I've had bits of styrofoam and other stuff stuck to me for longer than it should have. So these are incredibly useful. And then yes, we have foam, but don't go anywhere. There is a tech item in here. We will get to the tech item. Calcium little gummies for the kids. They have growing bones. Then this is a great way to get them to take supplemental calcium. Reynolds wrap, aluminum foil. Never underestimate the usefulness of this. I mentioned before with Amazon, I kid you not, we buy everything from them. I order flowers for my wife from them. We order this, peanut butter, toilet paper, dishwasher detergent. There's very little you cannot buy from Amazon. You can even buy the kitchen sink. They do, by the way, sell kitchen sinks. Extra virgin olive oil. Yep, well, you know what? It's great for cooking and it's healthy for you too. Now, I promised a tech item. I wouldn't actually have included this box otherwise because I made the point with the Cascade earlier, but this was included with all that stuff. The thing is, I order everything separately. I place one item per order, and then usually it's the discounted shipping. If you're willing to take 5 to 7 day shipping, you get a $1 digital movie credit. The movie Black Panther recently came out, and $18 of the $20 of its cost was paid for with free digital credits. So we got the HD digital streaming copy of Black Panther for $2. That's a deal. Yes, this is another Zotac card. This is a deal at the moment. Although whether it's a deal when you watch this video will be up for debate. But on May 10 anyway, when I'm recording this was $549. This is the AMP edition from Zotac. This is now only about $30 or $40 more expensive than the 1070 and 1070 Ti cards. This has not been a deal all year long, and they finally are a deal, and I haven't covered 1080s in a while. I've recently filmed a 1070 Ti comparison. I've done 1080 Ti comparisons. I haven't done a 1080 in a while, so we're going to revisit the 1080 and put all of them together and basically show you the stair step. It also gives me a fresh card to compare to the next generation coming out probably third quarter of 2018. In any case, expect to see a review on this at some point in the future. You know, just as a random side note, at least one person watching this video is going to notice the June unboxing has video cards, or at least one video card in it. The May had video cards. With new cards coming out later this year, why are you getting video cards? I actually sold off almost all my video cards earlier in the year when the cryptocurrency miners were paying way too much money for them. In fact, I had 2 different 1080 cards at the time, which I sold for a lot more than I paid for that card back there. So in the grand scheme of things, I actually did come out ahead in that particular case. I get very few video cards sent to me by the manufacturers. I've gotten, I think at this point, 3 total in my channel's entire history. Otherwise, I've paid for every one that you have ever seen. So a lot of times I review them, use them, and then sell them whenever I get an opportunity to, so occasionally I have to buy something new. But I haven't covered that before, so hey, new card. Now, if you watched the May 2018 unboxing, this might look familiar. This is the replacement for the big flat test bench that I took out of the box that had the big crease right in the middle. It's not the Praxis Wet Bench. I still, as of May 10th filming this video, have not gotten that resolved yet because, well, yeah. I am hopefully by the time you watch this video, that will be in here and they will have sent me fixed non-damaged parts and then I can show that off. Whether or not that shows up in the rest of the video or not, I can't tell you. But for now, crossing our fingers, we're going to take this out of the box and it's not going to be damaged, and then I can finally have a 4th test bench. And just like last month, there's a box with stuff inside. I do want to give credit to Newegg, by the way. Newegg provided a return shipping label at no cost to me, dropped it off at the FedEx store. They use FedEx rather than UPS, dropped it off at FedEx, picked up, they received it, got this sent out. No hassles. So good on Newegg for making sure that it cost me time, but didn't cost me any money to get this replaced. Here's hoping. So far looks so good. No creases, no bends. It looks straight. Do we finally have, dare I say, A good test bench? What do you guys think? Does that look straight to you? Straight enough. It's actually not 100% straight, to be honest with you. I can, if I got some tools out, my eyes say it might be a smidge off. It's not off by enough to care about. I'm going to keep this one. That's good. Now, inside this box contains the tools necessary. This right here is where the back plate goes. You put your motherboard here. Power supply goes down here. There's a place here to mount 2.5-inch SSDs. Your cables come up through here. You have power, reset switch, and USB ports on the front. This also costs a lot less than the Praxis Wet Bench. These are only $100. The Praxis Wet Bench, which you have to assemble and build, it's a big pain in the neck, those things are nearly $200, or they're $200 with shipping. The disadvantage to this is because it's flat. When I put a motherboard on it, the camera over there can't see it, and I do not have a camera overhead. I would love to have one, but this room's not remotely set up for it. I could do something on a tripod at an angle. Eventually, if I get moved into a real office out of my home, I would love to have a setup with 3 cameras. One there, one directly overhead, and maybe one tall at an angle. Set all 3 to record at the same time, put them into post, and then just basically switch between the scenes as I'm going. We're not there yet. It's on my wish list of goals, because then I could do something like this. The Praxis Wet Bench with the sloped front, I could put a motherboard, put it here, the camera could see it. But that just has not worked out the way it was supposed to. In any case, yay, test bench. Next up, we have a smaller box. I'm actually not sure what's in here. We have styrofoam. Nope, we have bubble wrap. Ooh. What is in here? This is a bunch of... What is this? Hang on, there is a note in here. Oh, wow. Dear Mr. Tech Deals, I hope you are doing well. Thank you. I have been watching your channel for about 7 months, and I have to say I love your YouTube videos. Thank you. Because of your videos, I've upgraded my system last December. I upgraded from the following specs. An AMD A10 7850K. Okay. I actually still have one of those, believe it or not. It's kind of dreadful. An Asrock FM2 Extreme 6 motherboard, 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. That's actually not bad right there. A GeForce GTX 950 superclocked, not a bad graphics card. A PNY, a 240 gig SSD, nice. 340 watt SSD power supply. Current system, Ryzen 5 1600 overclocked to 3.7. Asus Prime B350 Plus, a GTX 1060 6GB card, that's awesome. 16 gigs of DDR4, etc., etc., very nice. The new system is a dream. I play Doom, Diablo 3, Warhammer Total War, MechWarrior Online, and Battletech with no issues. Yeah, that system will rock you for years to come. The performance gains of the old system are unbelievable. I don't doubt it. An old A10 AMD APU on an FM2 board to a Ryzen 5 1600 at 3.7 gigahertz, that's a monster upgrade. If any of you are rocking the old AMD APUs and you're wondering, are the new Ryzen chips really that much faster? Yeah, they really are. It is a night and day obvious difference. Benchmarks not required. Thank you again for all the wonderful advice from your channel. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. As I was watching your May unboxing, I noticed another viewer had sent a GeForce 8800 video card. Ooh. When I heard you say how old it was, I thought I had an even older one in the closet. That's when I made the decision that I would like you to have it. Thank you. So please find enclosed. I'll show you what it is in a second. Wow, that is older. I hope you use it. If not, I look forward to hearing you laugh about getting it. A friend in tech. Thank you very much. Let me show this to you. That is very cool. I love getting this kind of stuff. I mean, if you've got stuff that's just sitting in the closet you're not using, I would love to showcase it. And if I can get a handful of these, I'd love to do a timeline of the history of video cards. So, while I may not do a build with this, it's, a little out of date, It would be interesting to sort of do a chronological order of the history of these things. That would be a fun video. Something different from the look at the new shiny thing. Thank you for sending it in an anti-static bag. This is a P&Y GeForce 3. Not a 300, a 3. Came after the GeForce 2 and before the GeForce 4. This is a very old card. Is there a date on here? I cannot find a date on the card. I'll look it up in a second. This has 64 megabytes of memory on it. Not 64 gigs, which would actually be a lot today. 64 megs. Yeah, my SD card in my video camera has more space than that. This was state-of-the-art once upon a time. It has a dual-link DVI, probably I port here. It's got a VGA port and an S-Video port. Can you believe that this is what video cards used to look like? Take a look at that. I mean, look at the teeny, tiny fan on this thing. Compared to the monster oversized video cards we have today, yeah, that used to be what a video card was. That's crazy. Okay, I did some reading on this in the cut there, and this came out in 2001. Yes, the same year that Windows XP came out, and the highest DirectX version it supports is DirectX 8. Yeah, it's completely ridiculously obsolete, of course. I could not even find any decent comparisons of performance versus this card versus anything remotely modern, even Intel integrated graphics, which would of course be much faster than this. But here's an interesting stat for you. This chip has 57 million transistors, so it has 57 million little switches that turn on and off. That's actually pretty impressive in a small chip, except a new GTX 1080 Ti has 12 billion. Yeah, that is 210 of these, and this runs at a couple hundred megahertz, and a 1080 Ti runs at 2 gigahertz, and this is a fixed feature chip. This isn't the unified shader core that came out with the 8000 series, and yeah, in fact, frankly, the audio processor on a 1080 Ti is probably faster than this entire card is. It is an interesting footnote to history. It would be cool in a retro build, I suppose, for pure compatibility building, say, an old Windows XP machine. But yeah, as terms of functional graphics versus today, it's just completely, totally obsolete. It's kind of like using an old 5¼ inch floppy drive. However, thank you very much for sending it in, because it is very cool and I like it. And it's very green. They just don't make them like this anymore. Just as a side note, all the interesting old retro tech like that card, I do keep. I actually have a pile over on my shelf that I'm keeping each of those items. They're not really going to get used in a build or some dedicated video at some point, but what I may do is when I get enough of them, I might do an interesting retrospective where I put them all on the desk and maybe give a minute or two of history, link to articles about them, and just do sort of a fun history of computer stuff video. So I am keeping all those items. Thank you very much for sending that to me. Now, this is much newer, but of course in a few years it will become retro tech as well. I've already reviewed one of these, and they just sent me something else to review. And inside the box we have cardboard and foam. Yay! Not to worry, there's more where that came from. And another piece. Let me rummage around in here some more. Yeah, you guessed it. More. Really? Cardboard packing? Okay, fair enough. And we have a GTX 1050 Ti, because we need to cover those more. Actually, in fairness, they were clearly happy enough with the 1070 Ti reviewed, and they said, hey, do you want one of these to cover? And I'm like, sure, why not? So this will be the second time I take a look at this brand, and you'll see this in a future video. Okay, that's kind of funny. After taking that out of the box, yes, we found more. Next up, we have another box with some good stuff in it. What could be in here? I actually know exactly what's in here. Unlike the previous box, this I'm sure of. This is going to be a lot of packing material because there is less in this box than you think. First of all, well, we don't get very far and we find something. This is one of the new Gigabyte SSDs, and I'll be covering this in a separate review. Due to all the noise, I'm going to cut the pulling of this out. All of this was in the box. Yes, this box was about 95% full of plastic. Having said that, that plastic is noisy. It's expanding and moving on the floor. If it eats me, call my next of kin. Shush. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I took all of that plastic, threw it on the floor, and then sat here for like several minutes as it expanded and moved across the floor, making an awful racket. In any case, let's see what else is in this otherwise large box. The first thing we have is... Boy, that looks an awful lot like a keyboard, doesn't it? Well, we'll take a look at that in just a second, because the other item in here is also a keyboard. How many of you knew that Gigabyte made keyboards? Okay, I knew Gigabyte made keyboards, but I've never owned or even touched or looked at a Gigabyte keyboard. But there's an important reason these are worth looking at. They are on sale at the moment. Well, they were when I filmed this video. Whether or not they are when you watch this video will be a separate story, but they'll be linked down in the description below. But when this video was filmed, these things were the least expensive Cherry MX keyboards on the market. Now, they're not RGB and they're not premium top of the line with all the fancy latest macro features, but they are nicely featured, and the most important thing is they have the good switches. One of these is blue, one of these is red. I'll be doing a video on these soon enough. In fact, you might see the video on these before you watch this video. But I do like mechanical Cherry MX keyboards. I have one right here. I have one right there on the second computer test bench. I have one on my streaming PC downstairs. I have one on my main Ryzen 7 1700X machine downstairs. So I am well versed in Cherry MX. If you want quality keyboards, if you want... You know, rather than give you the whole speech on that, let me just say this. I didn't know this when I first started looking into it. The brown, blue, red, black, etc. refers to the type of switch, how loud they are, and what kind of pressure and feedback they are. Blues are very clicky, browns are kind of medium and soft, reds are much softer. So basically the color of the switches that you get, it's not the color of the switch or the keyboard, it's the type of switch, how loud it is, etc. For streaming, for example, you wouldn't want to use a Cherry MX Blue. They're very, very clicky. A Cherry MX Red might be a very good choice. In any case, we will be taking a look at these in a separate video. Next up, we have a box from a special someone. I actually know who this is from. The question is, what's in here? I don't know, actually. We're going to find out. I may have a pleasant surprise for you. Or for me. Or for that matter, for me. What is in here? Oh, there are all kinds of goodies in here. Well, what do we have here? There's some actually older things in here. Some of the stuff I'm about to pull out of here is not current, but I do plan to cover it in some form or another. Anybody remember trackballs? I used to be an avid user of trackballs from Logitech, and they just kind of fell out of favor. But there's a trackball. Logitech G602 gaming mouse. This is actually the previous generation. The new one would be the 03 versions, which they've recently come out. In fact, I believe it's 703 is the current version. I don't know if they have a 603. But in any case, these actually are pretty inexpensive these days, so we'll take a look at it. Yeah, that's a cheap budget Logitech mouse, an M560. I don't even know if that's currently sold, but we will certainly see. Logitech MX Performance Mouse. I remember when MX used to be a brand they pitched, and this is new in the box. We can open the flap and show it to you. Interesting. It uses the unifying connector. Minger Light Up Your TV, 2 meters. What in the world is this? This is... I have no idea. Welcome guide. This is a USB light strip. It's an LED. This is a 2 meter long LED light strip that pulls out, plugs into USB on one end, and has a little controller on the other with buttons to change it. And it looks like you can daisy chain them because it says up to 5 meters. Well, if this is 2 meters, that means you can have 2 Device length 2 meters, max length 5 meters. Somebody needs to learn maths. I don't know. I go figure. It's a light strip. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to say either. A mini fan with double batteries, ultra quiet, strong wind, USB fan rechargeable indoor and outdoor. Wow. Look at it. Has pink, I don't know if you can see that. It has pink batteries and a USB cable. And really? Why do I have this? Don't worry, this won't be getting some crazy dedicated video. I have no idea what that's actually kind of wild. Okay, I took a closer look at it. It's basically what you think it is. It's a USB rechargeable fan with rechargeable batteries and a clip and a fan speed controller meant so that you can put it anywhere and not have a power cord. You can take it in your car and put it in your car in case you don't have air conditioning because, you know, it's like 1983 apparently. Well, it's a fan. What else is in this box? We've got a keyboard? With a unifying receiver. This is a wireless keyboard. It has a micro USB plug, which I imagine is used to charge it. On-off switch, what model is this? A K830. Yeah, it's got a touchpad. You know what I think this is for? Living room use or conference room use or anywhere you need a small portable battery powered keyboard with a built-in trackpad so you don't have a mouse. It's got a switch and okay. I have no idea. And we have a, you know what? This box is so big, I'm going to set this aside. We'll take a look at it when I can push this off the desk. What else is in here? We have a wireless touch keyboard K400 Plus. This looks kind of like the last thing, except that was an 800 something, and this is a K400 Plus something, and this appears to be new in the box, and that is not. Question for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you want stuff like this reviewed. Now, certainly the Gigabyte keyboards I showed you earlier. This, by the way, none of this was sent to me by Logitech. Logitech has never sent me anything, although I do use a lot of their products. But the Gigabyte keyboards were sent to me by Gigabyte. Do you want to see this cheaper stuff covered? Do you want to see non-gaming mice covered? Do you want to see these portable sort of, I guess, living room keyboards covered? Is this of interest? Would you want a comparison between these, assuming they're even current models? That's what the comment section is for. Tell me what you think. There could be a pretty epic keyboard and mouse comparison here. We might have more. Oh my goodness. This is a K750 wireless solar keyboard, but no mouse. Okay, so this has wireless solar charging, but no mouse pad. It uses the same unifying receiver as the other ones. Okay. And now we have a MK320 wireless combo keyboard and mouse. By the way, as I'm pulling these out, I'm not looking them up on Amazon, so I don't know what the price or currency of any of these items are. I suspect these are all a year or two old. They're not the latest and greatest. Some of them may not even be sold by Amazon or Newegg anymore, but what a comparison box. Pardon me as the desk gets full. This is an MK710 Logitech wireless desktop. This looks much fancier and it's much heavier than the previous one. Battery life of up to 3 years. Wow. So as I look at this, laser Logitech mouse. That's pretty fancy with a bunch of, I don't know know what you call these, macros, switches, function keys, unifying receiver. So this keyboard and mouse combo, just like that one, has one receiver for both the keyboard and mouse. That pile is getting kind of big. And through the magic of editing, we have reshuffled the stuff on our desk, and now we can take a look at this. This is microphone, the Vocal Microphone Professional Wireless Microphone System. Did I ask for this? Did somebody send this to me? I don't know. Foam. Wireless microphone system. This is... These look kind of fancy. That actually looks kind of nice. It may not be. I mean, just because it looks like this doesn't mean it's any good in terms of sound quality. But, hello, how are you doing today? Yes, thank you all for coming today. It's a wonderful day. Yes, please all have a seat in the back. The wedding will start in 15 minutes. You certainly look fancy walking around with one of these. There are two of them. In fact, actually, they have a different color bottom, so you know which is which. There is a base station of sorts. I assume that they connect to it. There is an audio jack, an antenna, a power adapter. So it looks like two microphones and some kind of box. Tell you what, between now and when I edit this video, I will look up and figure out what this is. And then I will put up the page for Amazon here and you can take a look at it. But it's got an on-off switch, a low battery light, a button. And I do look very important when I'm talking into this, don't I? Hello, yes, yes, please take a seat in the back. That is the strangest. Why would I have this? You know, as a side note, this may be a consequence of putting my address down in the bottom of the video description as things just start showing up. There are actually a few more items that came in a second box separate from this that I actually already opened because there was something in it that I needed. But there are a few random oddball items that I did know were coming that I really don't know what to do with at this point. I was sent them, and this is an example of something that I wouldn't normally have anything to do with. Yeah. If you've been watching this channel over, say, the past couple of months, if you've been watching it in March and April and early May, we've done a couple of videos that were perhaps not traditional PC tech oriented. Now, the channel's name is Tech Deals, not PC Tech Deals, so I do reserve the right to do videos that aren't strictly on PC related stuff, but some of the items we've done maybe wasn't the most broadly of interest items. If I wanted to do a Nintendo Switch review, for example, that would probably get some interest. This would not. This is an LED headlight for your head. I actually remember this company sending me an email saying, do you want one? And this was at a stage where I was pretty much saying yes to anything that companies wanted to send me that was remotely... Wow, okay, let's do that again. It goes dull, and yeah, that's pretty seizure-inducing. I had that aimed directly at the camera before, and the last thing I want to do is cause anybody a seizure. So this recharges... Do I even put this in the video? I don't know. Let me take this opportunity to assure you, I am not going to bother with stuff like this in the future. I did kind of start saying yes to everything, figuring we'd do a bunch of little videos of random tech items and cover them. This, frankly, isn't worth the time or the trouble. So, moving on from this. You know, normally, I just had a thought. This would be an interesting thing. Do I take random collections of items like this, put 5 or 10 of them together, and do a giveaway? The problem is, this might be of interest to one of you. This might be of interest to somebody else. And at the end of the day, this stuff is relatively inexpensive trinkets, so I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll give it to my kids. They might have fun with it. Will all these keyboards and mice explain this? This was in the other box that I opened up earlier, and it's a different trackball. So I've got 2 trackballs and several mice. Comparison video, maybe? Now, this I did say yes to for a reason. Now, it is in some respects ridiculous, and I have tweeted about this, I have posted on Discord about this, and I've mentioned it on Twitch when I've been live streaming, and generally the consensus is, really? Okay, we have finally jumped the shark. Because RGB keyboards are cool, RGB liquid coolers are cool, RGB motherboards, RGB cases, RGB fans, RGB mice, RGB mouse pads, RGB power supplies, that's a thing, RGB strips and other things inside your computer. Fair enough. This is none of those, and I'm just going to take it out here. This, besides being a black piece of foam, this is what you probably think it is, or maybe don't think it is. On this end, we have a standard 3-prong power plug. Now, if you're not in the US, you probably don't use these, but in the United States, this is what we use. It's a standard 3-prong plug. This end is the part that plugs into your power supply. You know that 3-prong plug on the back of your power supply that runs the cable to the wall? Yes. And here we have a standard 4-pin 50/50 RGB connector. This is an RGB power cable that runs from the wall to the back of your computer. Yes, really. Yes. RGB on the wall end, RGB on the computer end, and no, it's not RGB down the whole length, just those two spots. Now, they do have like 3 different models of these things. Yes, I will link to it down in the description below. I think this is the basic model. They've got a copper-covered version and some other things. These start at $40 for a power cable. The most expensive model is $90 for a power cable. I'm sure it's very, very nice. It looks nice in the pictures. The general consensus was this jumps the shark. Okay, we've now RGB'd everything. We can finish and stop the RGB now. You know, there's bound to be somebody who looks at this and goes, that's awesome and cool, and I've got to have one. And you know what? If that's you, it is your money. Spend it any way you want. Just keep in mind that this is not RGB. Only the 2 connector ends are RGB. It does come with a back plate to run the cable through to your motherboard, and it comes with an extension cable to run this. That's kind of short. I don't know if that'll reach. That's not terribly long. So you may need another extension cable. For $40, it should come with a longer cable. Dear Jason, per our email communication, we are a company called Addicted PC. We build RGB lighted PSU power cords. Our marketing blurb as follows. You know what? I'll do them the favor of reading my marketing blurb because you will probably never see this again. Addicted PC offers premium RGB lighted PSU power cords for the discriminating PC enthusiasts. We are talking about the PC enthusiast that will leave no stone unturned when putting the finishing touches on their high-performance PC build. I think we can all agree, this is no stone unturned. If you've already got the RGB power supply, the RGB SSD, by the way, ADATA has the little cooler things that go and make you RGB SSD. I guess this is the next step. RGB intensifies. This is why an Addicted PC custom RGB lighted power cord is a must. Our patent pending. You can get a patent on this? Okay. Power cords are hand-built using the finest grade products and will truly showcase your build all the way to the wall. Now, here's something I will give the company in fairness. This looks well built. I don't know if it's well built. I would have to cut it open, and I'm not an engineer. This feels really good. This is not cheap, and you probably could drive over this. The connectors look nice. It is clean inside. It's got screws. It's serviceable. It looks very nice. So, okay. Transparent and carbon fiber / chrome RGB lighted cord ends, connectivity to your RGB case or RGB motherboard RGB lighting system. 5-foot 12 gauge premium cord. Size does matter. It actually says that in here. Provides clean, robust power to your showcase system. Cable sleeving and choices of popular colors, including stainless steel, brass, and copper. That must be the more expensive. You can get this red cable, I believe, in like blue and green and white and black and other cables. No purple? Oh, we need purple. Finest hand-built quality. The Addicted PC RGB lighted power cords are absolutely a must when completing any high-performance RGB build. Audio guys have known this for years. It's time we PC enthusiasts do the same. Really? You're going to pull the audio guys out of this? Next, you're going to be saying we need monster cables from Best Buy for our sound. Those of you who know what monster cables at Best Buy know what I'm talking about. I am asking that you feature the included Addicted PC RGB lighted PSU power cord, that's a terrible name by the way, on your next RGB build or during an unboxing. Please have it hooked up to an RGB system when showing. Take a look at our website, addictedpc.com, for all product information and high-res images. Oh, interesting. They are offering one for a giveaway. Or maybe I'll just give this one away, because they want me to plug it in and I'm not going to. Thanks, Jason, and I look forward to hearing from you. Well, thank you, Addicted PC, for sending this. I just gave you more time in this video than any other products, and that's probably all you're getting. I'm sorry. I don't know how many people are going to buy one of these. I wish for your company the best of luck, because if this is what you're selling, you're going to have to sell a lot of them at that price point. But I am going to take you at your word that it works. I've seen the pictures on your website. Clearly you've got them lit up. I can't imagine you'd send it to me if it wasn't working. So, folks, I'm sure it works. It's fine. If you want one and you want to turn it up to about 27.5, knock yourselves out. As a side note, I just had a thought while I was putting this all back together of what I might do with this. Now, I'm not going to show this in an immediate or short-term build because I have 57 other things to do, but I am going to be moving out of this filming location at some point. I don't plan to stay here. This is just a bedroom upstairs in my house, and I need a real office. And when I set up an office, one of the things I want to do is set up a streaming room with multiple computers. That would be a good opportunity to set up a showcase build that's sort of a pretty backdrop machine with like an open loop cooler and a bunch of RGB lighting that basically is ridiculous but just looks cool to the nines for the purpose of a backdrop computer for filming. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put it on the shelf. And I'm going to pull it out when we do that because that's probably the time and place to put this power cord in place. So eventually, you may very well see this in such a setup. We are almost but not quite done. I've got a couple more items. These also were unboxed in the other box all this stuff came in. We have a number of products from Elgato. Now, I already own and use some Elgato products. Their 4K 60 Pro capture card is downstairs in my Ryzen 7 1700X machine. I use it for recording my benchmarks, and it does a very, very good job. These are all a little bit different. First of all, we have something called the Cam Link. I fully intend to be using this in my ongoing streaming. I currently use a Logitech webcam. The image quality, the zooming abilities, the setup is not ideal. It's great for starting streamers. It's great for initial partnered streamers who are just getting going. But at some point, you need a real camera, not a webcam. This is designed to let you plug a 1080p DSLR camera easily into your computer, set it up in OBS, and have a real camera running your live streams on Twitch as opposed to a webcam. There's nothing wrong with a webcam, but when you get beyond a certain level, at some point, you need a real camera. The image looks better, the focus, the light, the brightness, just everything is much, much better. If you've watched my Twitch live streams, I currently use a Logitech C922 webcam. It does the job, but it's nothing fancy. If you watch a real pro streamer, one of my favorites is Ammunition. She uses an actual DSLR plugged into something like this, and you can see the quality. Look at the quality of her in her videos as opposed to me. Yeah, it's much nicer. Her live streams. That's what this is for. These are about $100 or so, and if you are a serious professional live streamer, this probably should be on your shopping list at some point. Now, it doesn't have to be used for live streaming. You can also use one of these for capturing video, for example. Now, I use a 4K camera, and this is 1080p, so it doesn't work for me. But if you've got a 1080p camera and you want to record YouTube videos, this would be a really easy way to simply do a line-in recording into OBS and use this to record video. Now, I use something more expensive because that's a 4K camera, but if you've got a 1080p camera, you can set up OBS, which will recognize this, put the camera over there and just leave it on, press F12 or whatever it is you want to do to start recording, and then press F12 to stop, which is actually what I do when I record these. I don't actually use the memory card in the camera. It's just a live feed using an HDMI 2.0 cable over to the computer. That's what you could use this for. Speaking of Ammunition, who is a much bigger Twitch streamer than I am. She's got, I think, 364,000 followers and routinely gets 1,500 to 2,000 viewers, which is monstrously higher than me. She uses one of these. And this is definitely what you want to use when you switch to a 2-PC setup, which is what she has. She has 2 computers, one of which is a big super fancy machine for gaming, and the other is a live streaming. I think it's an i7 7700K is her live streaming PC. This is in that computer. The HDMI comes out from her super high-end 8-core gaming machine. She has got, I believe, I'm not looking at it at the moment, an i7 6900K, 8-core, 16-thread, Broadwell E machine is her main gaming machine, but I could be wrong. That outputs to this. This captures and streams. She can change games. She can reboot her streaming machine. It can crash playing a new beta release game, and it will not interrupt the stream. And that's the point of something like this. The HD60 Pro is a hardware capture card. It's not software. So basically it takes no load on the system. So frankly, her 7700K is a little bit overkill for this. A Ryzen 5 2400G, and this would frankly do the job just fine, but it is what it is. Now this does require a PCI Express slot. It's internal to your computer, but it has an actual hardware encoder chip on it, unlike something I'm about to show you in just a minute. This is an HD60S. I used to have one of these actually. I sold it. And I used to use it in earlier benchmarks at 1080p recording. In fact, a number of benchmark videos from last year on my channel said, today's video is recorded externally on an Elgato HD60S capture card, no performance loss due to etc., etc. Because this was plugged in via USB into a separate computer that was actually doing the capturing, and it provided HDMI pass-through to the monitor that I was actually watching. So the computer doesn't know it's being recorded. The difference is this doesn't offload as much of the actual compute power as the HD60 Pro does, or at least so I understand. I always had it plugged into a Ryzen 7 1700, so it hardly mattered. The CPU had all the power in the world. But if you have a lower power computer, you might want the hardware capture card. That's probably not the biggest difference between these. Latency. This has a much lower real-time live latency to it, which is why a pro streamer would use it, versus this. On the other hand, this is external and works with things that you can't put into a computer. Want to do a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? Want to do a Nintendo Switch? You can do anything with an HDMI source and it's external, so you plug it in via USB to your computer and it's just easier to deal with. It's easier to move around. It doesn't have to be installed. It doesn't require any drivers. It's easier to work with. It's not actually much less expensive. This generally tends to run about $20-ish less expensive than that one does, so if you're going to install it permanently into one machine, maybe just get the HD60 Pro. But if you want something portable, convenient, and literally you don't even have to open your computer, you just plug it in and use it, this works very well. Last but not least, that leads us to the Stream Deck. I have never used one of these before, but everybody I've talked to who has one swears by them. Not just big streamers, but smaller streamers. Fem, who you've seen on my channel before, who is a World of Warship streamer on Twitch, has one. And basically, it's the last thing she would give up if she had to give up any of her hardware. She absolutely loves the thing and uses it constantly to switch scenes, to turn the camera on and off, to basically make all kinds of adjustments. It's completely programmable. It's got a screen on it with a bunch of buttons. And many, many live streamers are now using them. Now, this retails for $150. It's essentially basically a macro-based controller with dedicated buttons that you can program that you could just reach over and just press to change things. $150 might seem expensive. When it first came out last year, I'll be honest, I looked at it and went, really? $150 for some buttons? I can go over to OBS and move stuff around. I can manually change scenes. I can set a hotkey. Yeah, you can. Now that I've been streaming a lot, I understand better why it's useful. There's times you don't want to change focus, Alt-Tab, have to move your mouse over to the OBS window to change things. Being able to just dunk, hit the button, and you're done with it, I can see the convenience. It does go on sale from time to time, but $150 is the regular price. If you stream for a living, if you're a Twitch partner, buy one. Full stop, run and get one. If you make money, if you make a living as a Twitch partner, I would buy one. The question is, if you stream recreationally, if you are a Twitch affiliate, if you're just a part-time streamer doing it for fun, no, you probably don't need one. It's probably overkill in that case. There's a lot of other things you should probably buy before you buy one of these. Twitch partners, full-time for a living Twitch partners, yes, you should own one. As a side note, some of you might say, how can you give such a recommendation when you haven't even used one? There comes a point in life where you have to trust other people's recommendations. Some of you watching my videos trust my recommendations. I use stuff, I test stuff. I have a ton of computers. You've seen me do a ton of builds on the channel. You guys know how much hardware I have. And so when I say X is better than Y or Y is not worth it over Z or whatever, I hope some of you at least give me the benefit of the doubt. When friends like Fem tell me that this is the last piece of hardware they'd want to give up, except maybe her Logitech headphones, which she loves, when she says that she couldn't imagine not streaming without it, and basically it's one of the most valuable pieces of streaming hardware that she has, I take her word for it. And I'm willing to make a recommendation based on that point because she's been a Twitch partner for a year, she's been live streaming full-time for 2 years, and when somebody like that gives an absolute 100% beyond any reasonable doubt recommendation that this is a key piece of full-time Twitch partner streaming hardware, I take their word for it. And since I do, I recommend you do as well. This will get covered and it will be used on my Twitch live streams. But for now, until that happens, that's where I'll leave it. There was one more item in the box I cannot put on the desk here. It wouldn't even fit. Not even if I took all this stuff off the desk, it wouldn't even fit because I got a monitor and computer and stuff over here. Elgato also sent me one of their green screens, the very cool one that pulls up. I'll pull that up full screen and just show it to you right now. But the short answer is for people who have either a confined space or cannot permanently have a green screen up. Some people just hang a green sheet on the wall. Some people put green curtains up or other things if you want to actually get rid of the box and actually just have you up. Then the Elgato green screen is an excellent choice because it pulls up, slides down, and again, I haven't used it, but everybody I've talked to who has one, the other live streamers I've talked to who have one also say it's very, very nice. It's well built. It's not cheap or shoddy. It's basically very sturdy. When you pull it up, it stays up. When you push it down, it goes down. You can slide it out of the way. You can put it under your bed. You can put it under your couch. You can hide it away. So maybe if your streaming PC is in your living room and you would never in a million years set up a permanent green screen, pull it out, pull it up, start streaming, no problem. Done with it, slide it away, put it against the wall. That retails for $160. You can certainly put a green screen up on a wall like that for a whole lot less money. But it isn't going to look as nice, and you got to get all the wrinkles out, and you got to get all the shadows out to make it work perfectly, and this is just convenient and easy. If it's something you're interested in, I'll link to it in the description below, and it will get a dedicated video at some point. This has got to be one of the oddest items. This is a digital photo frame. It says TFT LED display. Nobody has used TFT in a long time, but or at least that name, okay. Fair enough. Compatible with standard disk, with SD card, MMC, MS, easy remote control operation. Fair enough. It's a digital photo frame. Why do we care? Why am I even showing this to you? Well, here's the fun part. There is no barcode on this box. There is no model number on this box. There is no identifying information on this box. There is no manufacturer name on this box. There was no name in the box. Who sent this to me? Why do I have this? I don't know. Attention companies or people or whatever, if you send me things to my address down in the description below, and you send me a box that quite literally has no manufacturer information, no barcode, and no identification information, I actually tried to look this up on Amazon to see if I could find it, and there must be 30 or 40 different photo frames on Amazon. I don't even know what to tell you. What in the world am I supposed to do with this? I shudder to think of what the bigger channels get sent randomly in the mail. My understanding is stuff just shows up on a regular basis they didn't ask for. So I may get more. I am not going to continue to put all this kind of stuff into videos. But I am starting to get sent stuff that I don't know what it is, and that's weird. It is a photo frame with no identification. We are almost done with this video. Now, we are actually only in the middle of May, but I've got this item and one more behind me, and that's all we're doing. This is going to be ridiculously long. If any of you are still watching, Yeah, what can I say? Thank you very much, and let's get these last two items done. Anything else that arrives in the month of May is going to be in July's unboxing video because well, obviously haven't edited this yet. I'll bet it's going to be over an hour long, mostly because of that ridiculously large box of stuff. What's in here? Ah, yes, this. Packing. Okay, we won't do this every time we open a box. I actually ordered this for my wife. Now, many of you know my wife as @WifeyDeals on Twitter, although not anymore. We reserved that and kept it just in case, but her main account that already has all the followers on it has been renamed @RogueStormTV. Why? My wife is Twitch streaming now. But now by the time you watch this video, she'll have been streaming for several weeks. But as of the filming of this video, she has done 5 live streams. She's supposed to have an upcoming live stream with another Twitch streamer that some of you may know, but we'll see how that works out. We haven't set the date and time for that yet. She needs one of these because A, we're going to be streaming next to each other, and we're going to set up 2 computers so that we could live stream at the same time to our respective channels. Her channel is, of course, twitch.tv/RogueStormTV. Why RogueStorm? Well, that's a separate conversation for another time, but she needs one of these. Based upon the absolute recommendation of Fem, I ordered one of these. Those of you who know her know what this is. This is the Logitech G933 Artemis Spectrum wireless headset. There's already a video of this, or at least it's included in one of the live streaming guides that Fem did a couple of months ago, actually. Now, she owns one of these and has owned one for a while, so we probably won't do a dedicated review on it because it was kind of covered in that video. If I had maybe 2 or 3 different gaming headsets, it might make sense to do a comparison video. But for now, let me just say this. She streams from between 4 to 6 hours a day. She's a Twitch partner and a full-time streamer. She swears by this thing. She has a half a dozen headsets, mostly wired, cheap, and junky, but she's got a couple of nice ones, and she's tried a couple of nice ones, sent those back, and kept this. So based upon that recommendation, again, it comes back to the Elgato Stream Deck. If she says it's good, I'm willing to take her word for it. Now, it's worth noting that she wears that thing for a long time, and my wife is going to be streaming potentially for a long time. So I wanted to get her something comfortable and easy to wear for many hours of streaming, wireless so there's no wires to catch, and of course RGB. In any case, I love you, my sweet wife. This is for you. And last but certainly not least, we have this. And I just realized what this was, and there's not much point in doing an unboxing of it, so I'll take it out of the box, and I'll tell you why it's here. Regular viewers of my channel will recognize this, the Gigabyte Vega 64 card. What's it doing on the desk? Well, I did a video, GTX 1080 Ti versus Vega 64, and in that video, one of the comments that I made is I had a number of complete hard system locks. The machine just froze. Undervolting the card or turning power saving mode on allowed me to complete some benchmarks. Through trial and error, I managed to get through all the benchmarks in normal mode, not power saving mode. So the numbers in that video are for normal mode, not power saving or lower voltage downclock mode. But many people commented beneath that video, I might have a problem with my card because it shouldn't do that. I agree with you. It shouldn't. So I opened up an RMA with Newegg. I did buy this. Gigabyte didn't send it to me. I opened up an RMA with Newegg, sent that card back. They sent me a new one. The question is, do I bother? Because the reality is, as everybody commented below that video, is the Vega 64 does not compete with the GTX 1080 Ti. It competes with the GTX 1080, except in price. Right now in the middle of May when I'm recording this, you can buy a GTX 1080 for right near 500, 520 or so. These are closer to 800. They've come down 100 or so since I filmed that original video, but you're still looking at a $300, almost $300 price difference. If a GTX 1080 and a Vega 64 are similar in performance, and the 1080 is $250 to $300 less expensive than this, why are we having the conversation? What is there to discuss? Now, some of you may ask, why didn't I return the other card for a refund? Good question. Glad you asked. Newegg does not allow refunds on their video cards. It's exchange only. I probably would have done a refund if they'd allowed it, but they didn't, so they sent me a new one. Do I want to open this up and plug it in? Not really. Do I want to sell it brand new in box to somebody? probably is what I'll end up doing, because frankly, at the end of the day, unless the prices change substantially, there's really nothing to discuss here, sad to say. Wow, what a video. This is definitely going to be my longest and most detailed, product-filled, whatever unboxing video I have done to date. If anybody is still watching this, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are my most loyal viewers, and I am eternally grateful. As always, everything that is reasonable in this video will be linked down in the description below to either Amazon or Newegg or both, as is appropriate. Yes, even though I'm telling you not to go buy one, but I'll put it there because somebody's bound to say, I don't care what Mr. Tech Deal says, I'm going to buy one. Fair enough, you do that. But otherwise, I will link what I can down there below. Those will be affiliate links down there. If you like my videos, if you found this entertaining or enjoyable or just amusing in general, please consider using those when shopping. It really does make a difference. Questions, comments, thoughts, feedback, suggestions, random musings, put those down in the comment section below. I asked several questions and threw several thoughts out throughout the filming of this video. That's what the comment section is there for. I do not reply to every comment. I simply get too many comments to get them. I do read them, and I will definitely read all the comments here, so by all means, leave your comments. It's just that I sometimes receive upwards of 1,000 comments a day. I receive 50 to 100 emails a day, and there's just no way to reply to everybody, so please don't take it personally if your comment is not replied to. If I heart your comment, I at least liked it and saw it, and that lets you know that, but beyond that, just assume that I am reading them. I just can't reply to them all. Like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you loved it. Remember to subscribe, comment, links, and all the good stuff, as I said before, in my usual end jingle down below. Thank you all so much for watching this very, very long unboxing video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next month for another one of these, hopefully not as long.